Okaeri, welcome back to my channel, May Between the Pages. My name is Taylor, and today we're going to be doing the 6th installment of Guess That Book. If you're unaware, this is a series on my channel where I post on the first Sunday of every month, giving you 5 hints for 3 different books. Based on those hints, you have to guess 1, the name of the book, 2, the name of the author, and 3, the name of the series, if it's part of a series. You get 2 points for getting the name of the book correctly, 1 point for the name of the author, and another point for the name of the series if it's part of one. So if it's a book that's part of a series, you can get a total of 4 points. If it's a book that's not part of a series, you can get a total of 3 points. Then at the end of the year, I'm going to add up all the points for all the people who have guessed over the year, and the person with the most amount of points is going to get a free book from me. The only other rule is that the book has to have been mentioned on my channel before. It does not have to be behind me on the shelves. I don't even have to own it physically, but it has to have been mentioned before on my channel. Some of you guys are incredibly good at this, and I've noticed a lot of people that have the same reading taste to me seem to be really attuned to these hints. So this month I decided to go a little more difficult, I think. So we'll see how you guys do. Your first book for June is part of a series, so you can get a total of 4 points. Your first hint is that this is a comic. Now I know I said I was making this a little more difficult, but I don't read a lot of comics, so this is actually a really big hint, but anyway, hint number 1 is that it's a comic, or graphic novel, whichever phrase you would like to use. Number 2 is that this graphic novel is famous for its beautiful stylized art. Number 3 is that it deals with very dark themes of war and has a lot of very graphic scenes. Number 4 is that it deals with a lot of matriarchal societies. And number 5 is that this is a very magical world, which deals with witches, demons, gods, and arcanes. Book number 2 is not part of a series, so you can get a total of 3 points for this one. Your first hint is that this book deals with mermaids. Your second hint is that a major theme in this book is generational trauma. Your third hint kind of connects to the second one in that generational trauma is entwined with another theme of sharing and passing down stories. Hint number 4 is that this is a novella. And number 5, which is a very unique hint, and I think if you know this, then it's going to be a huge hint, is that this book was inspired by a song. Book number 3 is part of a series, so you can get a total of 4 points for this one as well. Hint number 1 is that this book or this series deals with the fake family trope, which I love, I adore. Number 2 is that the main character has very James Bondy vibes. Number 3 is that this book and the series is a comedy. Number 4, all of the characters in this book and this series are keeping secrets from each other, which lends a lot to the comedy that I mentioned in the previous hint. And number 5, which I think is the biggest hint of all, is that this is a manga. So adding all the points together, you can get a total of 11 points for June. Go ahead and leave all of your guesses down below. I'm interested to see if you guys knock this one out of the park again, because I thought I made a couple of these a little more difficult, but I don't know, I'm really interested. I love the engagement that I get from these videos, so please leave a comment. I'm excited to see what you guess. Now let's go over the books from May and give you guys the answers for last month. So the first book was A Master of Jinn, part of the Dead Jinn universe by P. Clark. A lot of you guys got this one, which makes me happy, honestly, because I don't hear enough people talk about this book. It's a fantastic, steampunky Cairo setting where you've got a sapphic romance, a murder mystery, magic, jinn, angels. It's so good, and it's such a unique world. If you haven't picked this book up, I highly recommend it. It has something for everyone. I truly believe that. Book number 2 from last month was Circe by Madeline Miller. Now this actually made me laugh when I was giving the hints for this, because I had a different setup for my books before, and previously this book was right here facing out, so it was directly in your face when I was giving hints for it. But yes, a lot of people got this one. There were some people who guessed other Greek mythology retellings about women. I think one of the more popular ones was Ariadne, which I have not read. But yeah, Circe was the answer to those hints. I love this book. And one of the hints I actually gave was that the US version and the UK version of this book are so not even on the same level. The US version is hideous in my opinion, and the UK version is absolutely stunning. And so is the hardback here, like the naked hardback. Hold on. I mean, if I pop up a picture of the US version next to this one, it's honestly insulting. This is a super popular book, so you've probably heard of it before, but it's a retelling of the character Circe. I think we first see her in the Iliad. You can correct me down below if I'm incorrect there, but I think that's where we see her mainly in Greek mythology. And it's like a feminist retelling, reimagining of it. It's a very slow-paced, character-based story that follows more like personal growth rather than plot beats. So some people I know were not a fan of the super slow pace of this, but I just loved the writing. It was lyrical, it was beautiful. I haven't read it for many years. I think I might be due for a reread at some point in the next couple of years because I really loved it. And book number 3, I do have physically, but in the States, so I can't hold it up, but that is Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a total of 3 points. I don't think I mentioned that for the previous books, but A Master of Jinn is 4 points, Circe is 3, and then Grown is also 3 because it's not part of a series. This is a contemporary book, a hard-hitting contemporary book that I adore from the bottom of my heart. It broke me. Like, I was crying on a public bus reading this book, and I think that was actually one of the hints that I gave, was that this made me cry on a public bus. It is so beautifully written, but heartbreaking at the same time. It's stunning. It's stunning. Let me know in the comments down below, as well as your guesses, whether you got last month's right. I love discussing with you guys how you felt about the hints from last month and how you did. So I would love to chat, as usual, as always, in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell. I'd love to have you as part of this community, and I appreciate it. But for now, I'm gonna head out. Jenny!